So let's go back to our storyboard. There's one more thing I'm going to want on this login screen. I want to create another button that's going to allow us to switch. Actually, probably should say don't have account, sign up. Yeah, something like that. So that this button is what you press if you can't log in because you don't have an account. You need to create an account, right? And so I'm going to call this, I'm going to create an outlet for this, and I'm just going to call it sign up button. And let's also create an action for it. Put that down here. And we'll say change form, something like that. Okay? Because we want to change the form from a login form to a sign up form. And basically the only difference in that is, recall, as I said earlier, is you have this email field available to you. You need that to sign up. So let's go ahead and look in to the code here for this, and we'll make some magic happen here. So I'm gonna put in some code here for our change form. Like I said, this will all be available to you, the code. I'm going to put that in here. All right, so let me explain to you what's going on in this code here. So I added this variable called login form that is a type boolean. It's equal to false to begin with, right? So when you come to this screen, the email field is going to be hidden, and the form will say log in. But there's a button on the screen that allows us to change to a sign up form, right? And let me just shift this all to the left so that it shows up on the screen, right? And so when I click on this, we want this field to disappear, and this should say, this field to appear, and this should say sign up. And then if we hit submit, it will actually sign you up instead of trying to log you in. If you already have an account, then there's no need to click on this button. You just log in, right? I did put in a safety feature so that if you click that button by accident, you can go back. So let's take a look at how this works. So, you're logging in. I don't have an account, so I need to click on this. There you go. If you click that button by accident, you need to get back to the login screen. Just click on that. Here's the login screen. And submit button will work accordingly because we have that Boolean variable here. So let's take a more look back in here. So we have this Boolean variable here that lets us know what state we are in, okay? And so based upon that variable, we will either log you in or sign you up, okay? All right, so let's take a look at the code for actually doing that. So, okay, so let's take a look. I just added this sign up method. And we have the variable user equals pf user. I did have to import parse because that was giving me an error. We need to do that on every page where we're going to call a parse function of some sort. And so what we're going to do is we're just setting this user variable to equal a few items. So these are the three text fields in our form. And so we're making sure that they are equal to the appropriate user variable. So user.username equals username.text, and password equals password.text. Parse actually has an email verification system built in, so you don't have to worry about validating emails. And then we do user sign up in background with block, again, which is a built-in parse function, which is real nice. And so if there's an error, that would be right here, error. Otherwise, this is successful, and we're going to use this check user method, which I'm going to show you in a second. We're going to call that method in here just to self.check user. So we're going to call that method when we have successfully logged in and signed up, and it does a simultaneous sign up and then logs you in, so which is kind of nice, so you don't have to go and log in afterwards. I also added this function here, which is a login method. So in case you came to the form and you needed to log in instead of sign up, then you would do this. And again, nice, easy. There's this method, and the method takes parameters of the username and the password. And if it is successful, then you have this if statement to check. Otherwise you could have a message that says, sorry, login failed, and they'll be prompted to do it again. And so we're just using this check user. And so we go in here and we just verify that they are logged in the check user method. If they are logged in, we give them an alert pops up and it says, you are now logged in, welcome. And there's a little dismiss button, and it's going to forward them straight to the home screen, right? And so actually what we should do, I noticed I give this an ID of home, and so we actually have to do that on the storyboard. Go back to the storyboard, and in our home screen here, where it says story ID, we should put home. There we go. That should take care of that. All right, so the last thing we need to do, this is not actually going to be working. I'm just going to X out of that. It's not going to be working because what we need to do is when we hit submit, we need to do if login form equals true, true, then we need to call one of the methods below, else call the other method. So if login form is true, we actually are calling the sign up self sign up, not sign up, but sign up method, right? And then this is going to be login method, right? All right, so this should work. Let's go ahead and give it a test. Before I run the final test in the emulator, I do want to show you that I added a logout button to the home page, and I actually created an IB action called logout, and what it does is it logs out the user if they're logged in. And this is very useful for testing out Parse, just to make sure that things are working. You might want to use the sign up form first, then log out, and then make sure the login form works, that whole kind of thing. And so this is the code that Parse provides for logging out the current user. And then we check for user down here, which will forward us to the second screen for logging in or signing up. Okay. All right. So with that in mind, let's go ahead. I'm going to run this. We should have all the code in place that we need for the login system to work. So push this over here. We want to actually sign up. So we'll say, we'll call ourselves James, let's say. Our password 111111. And we could set this as a password field so that it's asterisk there instead of actual showing you what you actually put in. And we'll just say test, we'll say James at test.com. Fictitious all the way. And so now when we click submit, it says welcome, you are now logged in. If I hit OK, it should forward us back to the home page, and there's our username that is shown. Perfect. And so if I hit log out, now it logs me out and sends us back here, and we can actually log in now with James and 111111. Hit submit. You are now logged in. Pops us back. Perfect. All right, so that's it. The login system is working. So now next I'll show you how to use this whole system to create a leaderboard system. using Parse. Oh, and we actually, before I end, I will go ahead and come back to our Parse account. I'm going to hit refresh here, and we should see, yeah, so we have this user database now that was created. It creates it on the fly. This is one I created earlier just to make sure this whole thing worked. This is the one that I just created. So perfect. It did work. And that gives you a little timestamp for when you logged in and everything. So that's it. That's the login system using Parse. Of course, you can make those pages look real nice and look like a professional login system. But Parse gives you all the tools you need. So it's a pretty nice system. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, please subscribe. Thanks.